Well, here's some of our gear just to share with you guys. A Wildcat Mark II and a Dreamline Classic, all in 25 caliber.
Alright, so working down through the list in no particular order, we have arrived at our newest edition. I keep saying ours, really Norm buys most of this stuff.
Yeah, well, it's ours. We're a team.
So this is the Dreamline, also in 25 cal. Everything we have is at this point until we get Bob's impact in. We did not change anything internal on this gun. We didn't put like a regulator in it or anything like that. They don't have them yet, do they?
That I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. So there's some stuff we don't know about these guns either. The Vortex PST is what we have on top of here. Again, Night Force if we had the money. I've had this PST for a long time, and then I gave it to Norm, what, a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've run it a bunch.
I have. I love it. It's a great scope.
It's a good, solid
It's not a Night Force, but it's a good backup.
Yeah. The only thing that we really hate about these Vortex PSTs is the magnification ring.
Yes.
Norm is like an ex-bodybuilder, jiu-jitsu master. I mean, the fact that his hand can't turn this without an assist is ridiculous. I actually sent this scope back, and I sent my wife's back because the mag ring was so hard to turn that I was afraid I was going to slip the scope in the rings.
Yeah, exactly.
With this added on, it's totally doable, and it has that like half power tactical. You can feel it at half range, which is great. So there's a lot to love about it. That's my only gripe. I like the reticle, I like the magnification, the lens clarity is great. The only thing, in my opinion, besides the mag ring that you lose out on versus the Night Force, besides these big turrets, is clarity at low light. But that's one thing I do want to talk to you guys about and plan out. Like Night Force sells the SHV, which is a really nice scope. But when Bob was here, we were surprised to learn that the SHV has a 10 MOA turret. We're so used to and in love with our 20 MOA turrets. And what that means is every time we go around, we have a 20 MOA adjustment, up or down. Bob only gets a 10 for going around. So he has to like really crank it with those SHVs. The NXSs that we have, they have the 20, so it's a much faster dial-up. Just something to keep in mind if you have the extra dough. They are more expensive for the NXS models.
About $300.
There's a good deal going right now. Norm just got one. There's an NRA special, right? You get them for
$1,500.
$1,500 for an NXS. That's like a $1,900 scope. So if you've been waiting, I wouldn't wait anymore. Now's the time. Never received a dime from Night Force. We just used them forever, and they're really good. Again, of course, Donnie FL on top. When we put the Donnie FL on, this barrel right here came down and touched the gas tube. We hated that. I was like, there's no way this thing's gonna shoot nice. Surprisingly, it did. It shot really nice with all that barrel droop and it touching here very accurately. Only problem was if you really like whipped it to the side or let it rest on its side a lot, unless you like gave it like a little jostle to let it recenter, or shot it a couple times so it recentered, it would be off to the side a bit. We got this barrel band 3D printed off the internet for
$15 from
bucks.
I think it was Ohio Industries or something like that.
Yeah, and it slipped on perfect. We did not have to sand it, which was really surprising. So that was cool. And the minute that we put it on and got it centered up, I mean, this thing's a rock now. So I think that fast became one of our favorites once we had this on. Before that, it was kind of up in the air of whether we were really going to dig this gun or not. And if you follow our Instagram feed, you will see Norm shooting this gun with pellets at 130 yards, and the accuracy is insane. And we said before that we had slug liners in all the guns. We do not have a slug liner in this.
Right, that's right.
That's the only exception because we just got it. Sure.
Yeah, there will be one.
It's shooting. And what were we shooting? We were shooting MK1 heavies. What was the feet per second on those again?
Right around 860 to 870.
Yeah. So we're pushing it, and we're pushing the gun hard too. This gun can be mouse fart quiet if if you leave it where it's intended to be shot, and you get a good amount of shots out of it too. We did the exact opposite because we crave power and speed and accuracy, so we immediately disassembled the gun and turned up the reg and turned the hammer to max. So don't expect to get those kind of velocities. I think you can get the accuracy, but you're not going to get those velocities if you shoot this gun as it is out of the box. No one should ever say that, you know, they're being misled by YouTubers that these guns are doing something that they won't do. These guns will do it, but you have to be willing to play, and you gotta want to tune them. And if you're not going to do that, they'll shoot great for you, but don't expect our velocities and impact power. You're just not going to get it. Is there anything else that we should talk about on the? Oh, one thing about this gun. This is like the lightest, nicest bench rest trigger.
Oh ever. Yeah, actually really light.
That was crazy. It's almost too light. I think we're gonna tack on a pound or two, so it's closer to the impact, which is already really light. I mean, we wouldn't have to pack on a pound or two, where it's like 5 ounces maybe.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm remembering, that this gun is still kind of new to us, so I'm not fluid with it, but the one thing I'm remembering that Norm has issues with this gun is the safety.
Yes, I do.
So it's off right now, and when he goes to cock it, he usually lays his hand like that to cock, and so that's in fire, right? He's on the range shooting. He goes to put it on, and it drags the safety back on him a lot. Now that doesn't happen to me, but you know, everybody shoots differently. So if you're one of those guys that keeps your thumb back here, reaches up and cocks it like that, not going to happen to you. But if you move your hand up, I think, as big and strong as Norm is, I think my hands are actually longer.
Absolutely longer.
So if you have a shorter hand and you can't make it up there without, you know, loosening your grip, make sure you keep your thumb out of the way, or you might put the safety back on. Now, the cool part about that, to me anyway, is that worst case scenario, you kick your safety back on. It's not like a gun that the safety's always getting kicked off. So it's still safe, obviously. It's just sometimes you might miss an opportunity if you cock the gun with your thumb along the side of it. But something easy to work out. I don't think it's a real detractor for the gun. Uh-oh. Hey, Norm.
Yeah.
Come here, bub. I got a problem. Well, when I did your segment, like, you know how you're supposed to have it like this so it shows up good on the TV?
Yeah.
I messed it up.
What do you mean you messed it up?
I mean, it's like this, and I can't really flip it. I have to like zoom in on it. It's gonna be a little bit weird. It'll be fine. It's just gonna be weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I videoed yours good, and then you video mine all screwed up.
Well, I didn't mean to.
That's messed up, man.
No, seriously, it's a little messed up, but we're not redoing it for a gear video.
Finally, we have the Wildcat MK2 in 25 cal. Again, I have the knockoff Atlas bipod. I went and put the full-size Picatinny rail so I could take full-size rings instead of the 11mm dovetail. Being this thing only is 8-shot, I went and added the Donnie FL aluminum mag holders.
Those are so nice. 2
on each side.
They never fall out.
And as you can see, I indexed them, just a red marker. This one has the SWFA SS straight 10 power by 42 scope on it with side shot mount.
What do you like about that gun versus the others?
Well, this is probably my favorite overall gun to shoulder. It's short and compact because I got very short arms, as you can see. I like using this in a barn. Hunting, it's really light. And I'm going to end up putting my thermal imaging scope on here for predator hunting. So, like I said, the only drawback that I have from this gun after shooting my impacts is the shot count being only 8 rounds in the mag compared to 25.
And you've got that one pretty tweaked too, right?
Oh yeah, this one here is I believe 880 with the 34 grain GSB heavies pellets. But I also have a slug liner in this one, and it shoots the heavies, you know, one hole at 50 yards.
Yeah, it's a tack driver. That one, because it's a tube gun versus the bottle, and when you're pushing it so hard, what do you get out of it, shot count wise?
I think it was 34 shots.
It's not bad for how much power you're pushing through it.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, you know, I can get 70 out of my impact with the pellets,
Yeah.
and tune it down a little bit. And that's another thing. I like having the bigger bottle on the impact than I do the little short tube here, but that's what makes this nice and light and compact.
Yeah, true. It wouldn't be as good of a barn gun and everything
Yeah.
if it was the other way around.
Absolutely.
And I helped you tune this one, so I'm pretty sure I remember. We maxed the reg on this quite a bit, but then didn't we end up settling it back down?
Yes.
That's like probably $150 or something like that, but the hammer's maxed out, I
The
think.
hammer's maxed to the max, and yeah, I think we're right at 150, 155
Yeah.
on the regulator right now.
And with the only downside to the Wildcat tunability wise, besides the fact that you have to take it out of stock, was there is no reg gauge, so you have to go off the fill gauge,
Exactly.
and that's how you figure out where you're at on the regulator. Because when all of a sudden it hits 6 inches low at 100 yards, and that's when you look here and say, oh, well, I guess that's where the reg is, and hopefully that gauge is accurate. So.
Yeah. But again, I mean, I absolutely love this gun. Love the way it shoots. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a sweet.
Oh, one
sweet
more thing I
shoulder.
want to add.
Some of what you're about to hear us say might sound like a commercial. Remember, this is a video about our gear that we paid for and the people that we worked with that we liked.
That all of our guns have the FX no limit rings.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I'll never, you know, have an air rifle without these rings.
Norm's talking about putting them on his center
yeah.
fire guns. I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't
love
know,
them
man.
that much.
I don't know if they can handle that, but I think they actually can, because I dropped my crown the other day and right on its side, and I think I was only off in MOA, maybe.
Yeah.
I dropped it hard.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
they seem to be working great. So again, FX, I really like everything they've put together so far that we've used.
Yeah, those no limit rings. And,
Yeah.
again, we spent our money on this stuff. This isn't, I mean, it's a heck of a collection, but it's not because we're ridiculously independently wealthy, and it's not because they gave all of this to us for free. They're nice guns and we like them. I'm sure there's a lot of other ones out there too, but this is what we roll with, and hopefully this answers your gun questions that you have for us. If you have anything else you want to add, Norm, or
No, other than the fact that I also love the service from FX. Every time I pick the phone up to call M and ask them a question, and if I did need like that buffer, that new C3
yep.
buffer, I mean, they sent it out that day. Great service.
Yeah, and you didn't pay for the original
No.
earnest. They just
Oh, no.
sent it to you.
They just sent it.
Yeah.
They sent me new gauges when I needed them,
Yep.
cost free, and again, I just really like not just their guns themselves, but their service is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been really pleased. And I went through Utah, and I was really pleased with them with Utah Air. That's where I got my crown. And we have one other vendor that really deserves an honorable mention. You got a ton of accessories, but two of these Nomads
Yes.
from who?
Straight shooters. Craig.
Yep.
Craig was there. I hadn't bought anything from him at all, and I was having a few issues with some of my guns, and he went out of his way to find out and get me hooked up with FX so I can get these things fixed.
Yeah.
And he gave me a great deal on both of the Nomad compressors. So I can't say enough good things about Craig. Picks up the phone as soon as I call him, and he goes above and beyond. So,
Yeah, and like you said, you had not bought a single thing from him,
Not a thing.
and he had no idea, you from the wall,
Yep.
and he just took care of you. And,
Absolutely.
that's real customer service when it's not even their product. So anyway, we needed to give him a shout out because he was so kind to do that.
Yes.
And then, so we have the Nomad, and we like it. Sometimes they don't work great. we had one go down. But again, to Nomad's credit and to Craig's credit, guess what? Already got the notification.
Yeah.
The replacement's on its way.
Yeah.
So that's pretty outstanding as well. They didn't give us a run around and you know, make you produce all kinds of paperwork proving when you bought it. So
no, they actually sent me the shipping label, so I didn't have to pay to ship it to them. And they only had it for less than probably 3 days, and they are turning around and sending it back to me. So
yeah, and it didn't sound like they were sending back the repaired unit either. It sounded like
they
replaced the unit. So if you have been interested in this, we can tell you that it works. If you're worried about whether it lasts or not, we have 2 that we've run pretty well.
Oh yeah.
We had a problem with one, but again, sent it out 3 days later, sending it back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to me, that's kind of a no worry guarantee.
Oh yeah.
However, this does take about 6 to 10 minutes to fill your gun.
Correct.
So what do we usually do? But
which brings us to the 2 tanks.
These are the 2 that actually have hookups on them, but don't be fooled. Norman always makes sure that we are well supplied. So I think these are 2 of 8, right?
Yeah, we have 8 tanks.
8 tanks. These are amazing. They're fast to fill. Your gun, I mean, obviously don't fill it fast. You have to let it fill slowly. But you know, you're talking about a 2-minute fill and you're back on the road, and you don't need electricity or anything for these. What you do need is someone to fill them for you. Can't just fill this up with an air compressor. You need to have a fire department buddy, basically, or a scuba tank shop right near you. Norm has a fire buddy who we really appreciate, and I've sent whiskey his way because he deserves it. But yeah, so they're a great option and they're really portable. Couple other side bits of gear that we like and need all the time is a rangefinder, obviously. You have yours on the ground over there. We tried to stalk a woodchuck during this video and it didn't work out. One of the hogs over there scared it. But these are, you know, nothing incredibly expensive, but they do the job. This one has a really good angle compensator, handy for shooting up to the tops of silos. This one has it too, but for whatever reason, we seem to like ranging with the Bushnell more, but the Leupold is like looking through a binocular, a monocular, obviously. The glass on this is amazing. We just feel like maybe the crosshairs are off on that a little bit, so no big deal. I think it hits a little bit low. But we haven't really sussed it out all that well because it works, so we're not too upset about it at all.
No.
And the glass is amazing. This one's a little fuzzy. That one is, again, you can spot for woodchucks with that.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty nice. And speaking of spotting for woodchucks, this is my other piece of kit. These are my babies. These are really expensive binoculars that my wife got me a few years back. I had a Air Force sniper give me the recommendation for those. Really nice guy I was on Top Shot with. I have loved them. They're not as expensive as Zeiss or Swarovski, but they are just as clear. I was able to compare them at dawn and dusk and midday for like a week straight with a pair of Swarovskis and Zeiss, and I didn't think that either one of them gained anything over that. And this has an MOA reticle in it, so you can talk people onto a woodchuck, which is really nice. That is our basic gear, and I think that if you have questions further than that, please feel free to ask. And if you have hung out with us this entire time, we are impressed.
Yes.
But that's our gear. That's all we got, right?
That's it.
We out?
We're out.
We're out. 3, 2.
Done.
Done.